Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar, Ask, Share, Repair, your guide to Techtown. First, I'd like to thank Food Service Equipment and Reports for helping set up today's broadcast. We're really excited about the content that we're going to share with you today. I am Eric Koenig, Vice President of Brand and Communications with Parchtown. And joining me today is Scott Carmichael. He's the mayor of Techtown. He'll be your community tour guide and show you how to post questions and content like service manuals, videos, participate in the discussion, and create groups and so much more. But before we dive in, I wanted to let you know you'll be able to ask questions along the way. There's a questions box on the side of the screen. Feel free to type the questions, and as we move through the webinar, we'll record those, and at the end, we'll answer those as best we can. Also, just a reminder, this broadcast will be available on demand after today's session, so we'll be able to share that back out with everybody as well. So you'll be able to share with people around the office, so look forward to that as well. Some have already submitted questions, so when you registered there was an opportunity to submit a question, so we've pulled out some great questions for that as well, and we'll be able to kick off the Q&A session with that. So Scott, all right, I wanted to actually start the session with a question.
Yeah.
Why is Techtown such an important tool for service technicians?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, welcome everyone. Techtown is the best place because it is where everyone is. It is the single source of best information. We have thousands of members, including several hundred who are very active members, continuously online. They have the best forum to answer those questions. We provide them with the best tools through mobile app, the discussion boards, private messaging, private groups, public groups, the ability to upload documents, videos, photos, really anything that a technician can think of that can make life in the repair world easier is available on Techtown and is out there to really make their lives just easier. So I hope that answers that question.
Great, it does. So I think with that, Scott, let's dive into Techtown.
Absolutely. So let's switch over to the screen. What you're seeing here is what you see on the front page of Techtown. Most important thing to remember, of course, Techtown. You'll find it at techtownforum.com. As soon as you start on the site, we provide you with as much information as you can right on the front page. So on the page here, you'll see the latest news and reviews from the industry. You will see the most recent discussions in the discussion forum, quick links to those forums, links to some of the other content we have on the site, including the FAQs, how to contribute content to Techtown, things like that. The first thing someone, of course, will want to do when they come to Techtown is click the big sign up button. And we make signing up as easy as possible. You can sign up let's call it the old-fashioned way, using name and email. But you can also sign up faster using Twitter, Facebook, and even Google and Amazon accounts. Can connect instantly to create a Techtown account, so that most technicians, if you really find yourself in a bind, you can be online, working to ask, share, repair within, literally within seconds. So once on the site, you'll see our top bar menu with all of the main options on the site. And I think the biggest and most important one will be all discussions. That is the heart of the community. That is where members can go to ask questions, to help others. So if they see a question that they know the answer to, they can go in there and provide the replies. And we've really broken down the discussions and the topics that we allow in a discussion board by the kind of topics that you'll see on a daily basis. So hot side, cold side, dish and ware, HVAC, beverage, food prep. But we also provide forums for things like discussing tools. We have an off-topic forum where you can just chat about whatever you want. Obviously, some of the most important and the most popular forums are going to be hot side, cold side, and that is where you'll see some of the, the topics that, also really, need the quickest replies. Here's someone who is having an issue with the ice machine, and what you'll normally see when you go to a discussion is community members pitching in very quickly. I think our average at the moment is about 2.5 to 3 hours. Members come in, members will reply to posts, ask questions if there's something that's not clear. For example, if they don't exactly know what the right model number is, they'll ask that. If they need a technician to take a quick look at a part number, or whether a certain part has ever been replaced. Those are all things that the community will go back and forth on. And of course, the idea is that you go down the forum and you'll see that somebody asks a question, tech community goes back and forth, the problem gets resolved. When you create a topic, if you were to do one of these yourself, you can add as much information as you want. You can add videos, you can add other documents, schematics, you can add YouTube video links, things like that. Anything that helps make getting to that, to that resolution of the problem as easy as possible. Creating a new discussion really is as simple as clicking new discussion, typing in your title, saying what your problem is, and hitting post. You see here the buttons to drag and drop any attachments that you have, any photos that you want to include. It can all be included in your initial reply, and you can subscribe to that topic so that you'll get an instant notification when somebody has replied. So if you're on the job site and you want to move on to the next one, you'll immediately get notified when someone has replied to your topic, making it really easy. One of the next things that we're going to go through is the manufacturer directory. This is a feature that I'm quite proud of, because it's something that we created entirely based off feedback from technicians in the field. When we did a lot of ride-alongs, we went along on a lot of job sites, met with a lot of technicians, and one of the number one things we heard was, whatever the site should be, we'd like to have as much as possible in a single site, so we don't have to go from website to website. And that's kind of where the manufacturer directory grew from. And it's really a collection of the most up-to-date resources about manufacturers, and that includes obviously things like contact information, websites, phone numbers, but also social media links. In some cases, we will publish the phone tree. Just really as much information as we can get from a manufacturer is something you'll find here. We also link the most recent title topics of things that have been discussed on the forums. If there are events taking place, we'll publish those in the same page, so that if you come to a manufacturer entry, you really get as much information as you can to, again, make that, get that repair taken care of faster. Everything you see on this page, of course, works also on mobile. So if you're in the field working on a mobile device, that will work perfectly for you as well. So let's go back to the front page. The next feature I'd like to take a quick look at is just some of the topics that we discuss in the news and reviews section of the site. We try to publish information and reviews, product reviews, giveaways that can benefit technicians in the field. So for example, we will publish links to the latest podcasts. You'll see information, for example, in this case, about dealing with COVID-19. We do reviews of products. We do giveaways. It's really a collection of content that just adds to the site. In this case here, you see some information about comparing tools, types of tools, especially for the beginners in the field. That That can be an excellent resource. Groups are a feature that is really probably one of the most underrated but most powerful features of Techtime, because it takes everything that's good about the site, combines it into one package, and it allows you to basically create your own Techtime. It allows, for example, a manufacturer to create a group specifically for their brand. And in that group, we provide everything that you will find on the rest of Techtime. So if you create your own group, for example, in this case, for a major oven maker, they have the ability to create a public group, get their own private discussion forum. They have the ability to add photos, documents, photo albums. They can manage the members. And when you create one of these groups, you get the ability to either make it a public group, in this, what you see in this case, where the group is open to everyone. You have the ability to create a private group where you are entirely in charge of the group. No one else can see it. You get to choose who gets to be in that group. And the third type is kind of a hybrid, where it is visible, but you still get to manage who is invited. In other words, people need to actually apply to get into that group. Now, these groups are fantastic because let's take, for example, a small service company. They may not have the resources to create their own online presence. Well, with a group on Techtime, they create the group. They can manage which of their technicians can get into that group. They have their own private discussion board. They have their own private document management area where they can upload all of their own manuals, schematics, videos that they only want to share with their own techs. And of course, all of that also works on mobile. So if you create a group specifically for yourself, you have access to essentially your own mobile section. You can communicate with your own people privately, and really just create essentially what is your own intranet. On the public side of it, it's fantastic for manufacturers because it gives them an opportunity to communicate with technicians, answer the technicians' questions, but manage to do that within their own private gated community. If a manufacturer prefers, they can set it up so that only they are in charge of inviting who could actually be part of that community. Very powerful feature. And just like with everything else on Techtime, of course, it's entirely free, and really highly recommended to take a look at that, especially if you're on the manufacturing side or service company. The Techtime knowledge base is a feature that we added about 2 months ago, because we started to notice that a lot of content, a lot of the discussions in the discussion forum were starting to get very complex, very long, and in some cases, in order to find the solution or ask, share, repair as quickly as possible, those discussions were sometimes becoming really too long. So what we started doing is taking some of that content, some of those repairs that really may just be a bit too complex to do through a simple discussion, and we repackaged them and put them into our new knowledge base. And in here, you'll find things like videos that can assist with making the repairs quicker. You can find the usual schematics, documents, videos, anything that, again, can assist in helping make that repair even faster. In this case, it's a PDF that we've uploaded. And we're working very hard to add new content to the knowledge base on a daily basis. So if you are an active user here, you'll start to see new content being added very quickly. Our events calendar is a very helpful feature. This was driven this year, of course, by the pandemic, and the need to have a lot more online resources for training, for product information, for other tools online that could benefit technicians. We've created this, and we try to keep it up to date with as much as we can. Events taking place in the industry, webinars, in this case training on equipment, and we link that back, of course, to the manufacturer directory as well. So it's all one one big piece of that. So if you go to an entry in the manufacturer directory, if there are events, you'll actually see those within that as well. So again, going back to the feedback that we got from technicians, everything in one place. So the events calendar really helps deliver on that. And thanks to our manufacturing partners for providing us with events, event information. We try to get that in there as quickly as we can. We're going to go back a little bit to navigating the site, because now you've seen a little bit about some of the features. We've wanted to make navigating the site as easy as possible. So as many of the features as you can see, we've tried to keep combined as close as you can get to what most people are used to navigating on something like Facebook or other social media platforms. So in this case, you'll see that you have the ability to do private messaging. You can connect with fellow members. So if you want to get a notification when a certain member posts, you can get those notifications when you connect with them. You have instant access to all of your own groups, all of your own forums, your own discussions, your own replies. You can see those very quickly. All of your uploaded photos, any albums you've created. Alerts is a powerful feature we've created where you can set keywords and get alerted as the second somebody discusses those or mentions those anywhere on the site. So for example, if you are a manufacturer and you want to know when someone's talking about you or a specific model of your equipment or any other keyword, you can enter that here, select when you want to be notified. That can be either in a daily digest or immediately. And of course, you can manage or delete those if you find that you no longer need them. In your menu here, you also see your profile. Similar to your typical social media site, you can upload, you can enter as much information or as little information as you want in your personal profile, your company name, your title, your specialty. You can upload your profile photo if you'd like to share that with others. You can add a cover photo if you want to make your profile look a little better. And we really encourage people to to upload as much information as they're comfortable with. So it just makes it easy for others to identify them and know who helped them if they got an answer that benefited them in the forum. See who their other connections are, connect with them, and just stay in touch with what they're up to. Or in the case, if you really want to use it as a social media site, you can send messages to those members, thank them for a reply that they gave you. Somebody could list some old tools that they want to sell. There's an awful lot possible with a lot of these features. Again, just think of it as a basic social media site, and you'll get the idea of what we're trying to do there. So going back to the front page again. So now you know how the site navigation works. Some of the other features that we've built in here, of course, we have a very powerful search feature. Instead of having search specifically for each of the different components of the site, like the manufacturer directory, the knowledge base, the groups, the discussions, we've created a single search where the results that you see in here come from every part of the site. So that could be that it comes from a discussion board. Part of it could be that it's linked to a knowledge base article. Part of it could be that it links to a document. It really, instead of having to try to narrow down that search, our search results pull in from everything on the site. And you'll see that we try to provide what we call live results. So as you're typing, the system will try to basically guess what you're trying to type. Again, designed to help you in the field, make things a little easier. The topics that it pulls in here are those that are really the most popular ones. So consider it kind of basic AI. The machine is trying to guess what you're trying to ask. And again, it's really just designed to help make finding that correct answer in the field as quick as possible. Now, going back to the front page, one of the tabs at the top that we haven't looked at yet, and it's one of my favorites, I think, is the Techtime Rewards button. Techtime Rewards has been designed to reward everyone who participates on the site. And it really is as simple as that. Everyone who contributes, who participates, everyone who logs in daily earns points for what they do. And those points can be traded in for physical gifts. So really our way of saying, well, you come here to ask, share, repair, we reward you for what you do there. If you come to the site every day and you post a few questions and you answer a couple of questions, before you know it, you'll have a good amount of points. You can then come here, take those points, and actually, just like a normal shopping cart, you can add these items to your cart, place your order, and we'll mail them out to you. These are all, of course, Techtime branded items, so it's a great way to to show some Techtime pride. And we love it if when members are really active and they come here, trade in those points, get some nice Techtime goodies, and just as a a nice surprise, everyone who participates on the webinar today will find some Techtime points in their account once they sign up for a Techtime account, and you'll be able to order some goodies, and 5 of you will actually get enough points to redeem a Techtime goodie bag. So it's kind of our way of saying thank you for listening into the webinar today. Now going back to the front screen, everything you've seen today on the site is available in mobile. So that means if you are on a tablet, the site will adapt to your tablet. If you're on a mobile phone, the site will adapt to your mobile phone. But even better, if you are on a iOS or Android device, you can use the Techtime Mobile app. Those apps are free of charge. You'll find them in the Play Store and the App Store. Just search for Techtime, and the mobile app provides the exact experience you have on Techtime, but it adds some of the features that you come to expect from having a mobile device on you. So think about things like push notifications. So if somebody replies to one of your topics, your phone will give you a push notification. You have the ability to upload photos and videos directly using the camera on your device if you're posting. So if you're on a job site and you have a particularly specific question about a part, immediately you can use your phone, take a picture of it, upload it right into the discussion post, and then get instant notifications as soon as somebody replies to it. You of course also have mobile access to the manufacturer directory. You have mobile access to the knowledge base, the events directory, and you can even access the Techtime Rewards store on mobile. View your points, check your profile, update your profile, things like that. So a very powerful application, and really something that I highly recommend you install, because you never know when you're going to be on a job site and have to ask a question of the community. So let's take a quick look again at that community. As we mentioned, we have several thousand members, several hundred of them who are very active. We have a good core group of what I would call our ambassador members. Those are members who are really there almost all the time, are incredibly knowledgeable. These are folks who have been in the industry for many, many years, and really just have a great amount of experience and an incredible generosity in how they share their knowledge. and how they help others find the solution to the problems that they may be facing. As you go through the forums, you'll obviously see a lot of questions, people who have posted images, a lot of people who go back and forth asking, have you tried this? Have you tried this part? Links to parts, things like that. Really everything that you need really just to get these problems fixed. Some of our members will link to diagrams if they're old. In some cases, members still have a diagram on their phone or their laptop that they'll be willing to share. So there's an incredible generosity on the forum from people who are willing to share their knowledge. And once you're in these, if you see a topic that is of interest to you, you can click subscribe, and subscribe will really give you updates next time somebody has posted to that discussion. It's a great way just to stay in touch with what's going on there. It may not be a topic that you're able to contribute to, but it could be something that benefits you in the future. So very helpful to have that feature there. And of course, you can reply to any topic that you want to. So I'm going back to the front page again. As you can see here, we also have short links to all of the different forums. And in addition to the forums on the front page, the ones that have been created by Techtown, you also have quick links to all of the forums that have been created as part of a group. So those are very helpful to jump to as well. Going back to the front page. I hope this has really given you a bit of information about what Techtown does, how it can benefit you as a technician or a manufacturer, or facility manager, or just anyone else who actively works with commercial food service equipment. I highly recommend signing up, obviously, even if it's just to hopefully be part of our goodie bag giveaway. Yeah, but it's just easy to have, next time you find yourself facing a problem. I hope you'll think back, remember, the Techtime webinar you saw, and come to the site, ask your question, and I guarantee that you'll get the answers you need to help get your equipment fixed. Thanks very much, and let's open it up to some questions. Eric, are you still there for me?
Nope, I am.
Excellent.
Little trouble with the mute button. So yeah, we do have some questions coming in. The first, again, Scott, thanks for the great tour of the forum and the community. One of the questions that the audience is asking is, when a question or a, looking for repair advice or troubleshooting guidance on a piece of equipment, how is that information distributed? So obviously we have the forum and the discussion thread itself. Can you talk a little bit about the back and forth that happens within the thread to get to the answer, and how does that answer get promoted out to the people as part of that thread?
Sure. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the back and forth. The members on Techtime are very vocal. They're very helpful. They will immediately ask you any other information they need in order to get to that question. So for example, if you come to the site and say, oh, my ice machine stopped working, well, you're going to get somebody come in and say, hey, come on, I need a serial number, I need a model number, I need a make, I need any information that I need to help you. After that, it really is just the kind of back and forth you would expect from somebody basically standing next to you. So just picture yourself standing, working in the kitchen trying to fix a piece of equipment, and imagine a technician standing right behind you. Hey, have you tried this? Try that now. Have you tried cleaning this part? The back and forth really is there, just like a technician would be standing right next to you, trying to assist you getting that piece of equipment fixed. Once that's all in there, anyone who is part of that discussion will, whenever they reply, they will always see a small box saying notify me when replies have been posted. So as soon as you reply, you become part of that discussion, and you will start getting notifications when somebody posts a reply to your discussion. Now that means the person who started the discussion, of course, will get notifications, but anyone else who participates in it, even just as with a reply, can get notified. But even if you aren't participating in a discussion at all, you can still subscribe to that discussion and get a notification in email, or in the case of the mobile app, get a push notification when some action is taking place on that discussion. So it could be that somebody had a problem 2 years ago, and next week somebody has that same problem. If they go back to that same forum discussion, everyone who participated will get notified again, saying, "Hey, this discussion is active again. Let's go take a look what's going on there." So we try to provide notifications as much as we can to get you back to your own discussion, so you really, first of all, never miss anything, and if something gets added to a discussion later in the phase, you can continue seeing it, so you never have to miss anything.
Great. As a sort of a follow-up question, and this is from me. If I'm a manufacturer and I want to make sure that I'm best equipped to see what's going on out in the field regarding my equipment,
Yeah.
is there a recommended best practice for that we can share with the users as well as the manufacturers to make sure that they tag a question that would elevate that up to the manufacturer to make sure that they get that right away so they can
Yes.
respond to that question as quickly as possible?
Yeah, that's a great one. So there's actually several ways, and that's a great question, because it's incredibly important that we help manufacturers understand how they can benefit from Techtown. Um, I think it's important for them to understand that um, their customers are here, the people who use their equipment on a daily basis and make sure that their equipment keeps working. They are on Techtown. They are talking about their equipment. That is specifically why we built the alerts feature. It really allows you to add as many keywords as you want, and get an instant alert the second somebody mentions your equipment. So let's take, for example, a random brand, let's say BKI. They can add their own brand name. They can say BKI. They can take all of the model numbers of their equipment, any other keywords, any other topics, anything else that they benefit from. They can add that as an alert or as a keyword, and as soon as somebody mentions that or includes that in any post, it immediately gets pushed out to them and say, "Hey, here's a link. This is a discussion somebody's mentioning you in." Now, in addition to that, whenever people post a new topic on Techtown, there is a field to add tags or to add manufacturers. In some cases, with most of the major manufacturers, I should say, we automatically fill that in for them, so that if they have that notification keyword set, again, that alert will go out, but it also gets included in the search. So if if you're not interested in hearing immediately about what's being discussed, you can still come to the site, use the search button, and you'll see all of the latest topics that include your model number, your brand name, your any other brands that your company uses.
Great, thank you. And that sort of feeds into another question that from the audience, is how can manufacturers aid in educating and training technicians? So we talked about the events field. We've talked about the groups section as well. Maybe elaborate a little bit more on the types of content that really help answer questions and help educate technicians in the field
Mhm.
that Techtown is a perfect forum for.
Absolutely. So ask, share, repair. So it's right in the middle. Share, 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 share. Um, there really is no limit to what in this case a manufacturer can share on Techtime. Let's say for example, I have a company called Eric, and I create a group called Eric. I can add all of my documents in there. I can add all of my schematics, all of my manuals, all of my repair videos, all into that group. They are all neatly listed in there. I can open up a discussion forum and make it very clear to technicians in the field that I'm open to receiving questions, and I have somebody on staff who will help assist with those. Um, and then just participate. That's really it. Share as much information as you can, and then actively participate on the forum. If you get a notification that your brand is mentioned and somebody says so and so is not working right, come to the site, have somebody available who can answer those questions, and just become a community member. That's really, everyone is welcome on Techtime. A manufacturer is equally welcome in the forums as a technician, and especially if a manufacturer is willing and able to come to the site, share their information, and be an active member of the community, and helping answering some of these questions. And we do have, some manufacturers who do that. They have notifications set. The second somebody mentions their brand, they actually have one of their technicians come to the site and actively participate and say, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Obviously, technicians who have been in the field for, 30, 40 years will have a good amount of knowledge. But in many cases, especially when it comes to new equipment, brand new machines that have just come on the market, the manufacturer is going to be the one with the most knowledge to share, and who will probably have technicians who can assist there. We see huge responses, very positive responses from the community when manufacturing partners participate. And I think it's just all around good. It's good for the end user. It's good for the chef, for the restaurant managers, the kitchen manager, whoever it is who relies upon that piece of equipment. If they know that the manufacturer is actively participating in helping the technicians get to that repair, because at the end of the day, first time repair, quick repairs, that's of course the goal for everyone here.
No, yeah, first time fix. That
Yeah,
is the gold standard. Part of that information sharing though too is, we have to be very aware and acknowledge that, there is the repair technicians and there's also authorized service technicians. So again, for the manufacturers, you know, share as much content as possible, but also make sure that they need to, if there's content that they only want to share with the authorized network versus the rest of the service community, there is that opportunity to
yeah,
gate and segment out to make sure that the right content is being shared in the right place, and then also be able to answer the types of questions that are coming in. So again, it leads to a question from the audience. What's the best way to communicate? Is it the public groups? Is it the public forum? Is it the private groups?
yeah.
Is there sort of
That's a very good question, and
again best practice there as well?
yeah. So the question of how public do I want my information to be is a very good one. There are, without a doubt, situations where certain information won't be shared publicly. Obviously, there are manufacturers who have a good amount of technology in place on their own websites. We can replicate that on Techtown through the groups, and by creating either a private group that is entirely hidden or a visible group with, like you said yourself, gated, where you as the owner of that group are in charge of who gets to enter, is a great way to share as much information as you want, but ensure that it's only shared with people that you invite. we have the ability on Techtime to allow the owner of that group to accept invites. So for example, I can go to a group right now and say, hey, this is a brand that I want to be part of. I'd like to, submit my name. I get, as owner of that group, I will then get a notification saying Scott Carmichael wants to be part of this group. I can send you a message saying, all right, who do you work for? Who is, are you actually, authorized to work on this equipment? It could be that a manufacturer simply wants to ensure that they're not getting end users trying to fix equipment. We've all had it where the chef or somebody in the kitchen thinks that they could repair the piece of equipment. And thankfully the community on Techtown is very well aware when somebody is trying to do something that they really shouldn't be. And just out of safety, we'll obviously warn them and say, hey, you need to call a service technician because this is not something that you can do yourself. So to get back to your question, groups, perfect option for that. But when creating the group, you get a very clear list of options. You can create your group as a public group where anyone can enter, or you can say, I want to get the hybrid model where I promote that I have the group, but I'm in charge of who gets to enter and who gets to see my content.
And then, by extension, for service companies, they can create a private group as well and
Mm-hmm.
have their team members interact back and forth within the forum itself.
Yeah.
You know, bottom
Yep.
line, the Techtown Forum is a community to make transmission of information regarding repair of equipment as easy and as seamless as possible.
That's
So
exactly
again,
right.
when Scott says ask, share, repair, it really is about ask, share, repair and making it easy. And the more you post, obviously, the more points you earn too. Um,
Yeah, and
you
just coming
know,
back to that, actually, one of the features that we offer on Techtown, and especially in the case of service companies, if you create a group, for example, for your service company, we have the ability to automatically add members to that group who sign up using your domain name. So if you have all your technicians using email from your service company, so abc.com, for example, we can add that to your group. So anytime somebody signs up using that abc.com email address or that domain name, they're automatically added to that group. So especially in the case of service companies with a lot of technicians, that's just a fantastic way to run your group. Because if you have somebody new starting, all they have to do is sign up for Techtown, and immediately they'll see your group show up on their screen.
great. And we're getting close on time, so I want to ask one more question. And we touched on it a little bit, but I think I just want to dive a little bit more into it. Is the types of content we talked about schematics, we talked about videos, we talked about pictures. Has there been, from just sort of looking at the forum and the way people are interacting with the forum, a content type that has really been powerful for people to, grab onto and say, this is helping me in the field?
Mhm,
Because ultimately, that's really what we want, is we want this to be
mhm.
there as, the help on your shoulder to make sure that you're making the repair correctly. So, when we're thinking about the types of content that we want to share, what's
Mhm.
been, proving out to be most successful?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's two types. First of all, video, video, without a doubt. The power of being able to see somebody work on the same piece of equipment you are and actually see how they are approaching it, how they are fixing it, is hugely powerful. And whenever technicians take the time um, to record what they're doing, it's phenomenal, and it's a huge help. And I would say that if you are a technician and you've worked on something that is that is happening more often, for example, but you have found a way to do it very efficiently. If you have the ability to hold up that phone and record that, that's fantastic. And the other one is, and that's a quite surprising one, is old schematics. There's still a lot of older equipment out there. We found that it's, a lot of companies have merged, and not all documentation has been preserved. And thanks to some of the technicians that we have on our site who are very active, they've saved a lot of those schematics. And sometimes someone says, well, I'm working on a 1950s blender here and can't find a schematic for it. We've had some technicians who say, oh, wait a second, I've still got that in the back of my van. That's just been immensely, gratifying to see. And it's, anytime someone is willing to share something that they have and take the time to either document it through a video or write up a repair guide themselves, or we've even had technicians here who have actually made their own schematic to help somebody else and say, well, this is the piece you need to fix. It's whenever someone just takes the time to share. I just can't thank them enough. And watching that discussion taking place and saying, help, panic, ask, technicians share, and then seeing the repair and then seeing them, oh, I followed your guide and I fixed it, job done. That I just love seeing those. And that, at the end of the day, that really is the goal, of course, of every discussion we want on the site. We want it to end that way, and we want it to end with a successful repair.
Great. Well, everyone who's attended today, thank you for attending. Scott, some great information around Techtime. If you have not signed up, I encourage you to sign up. It's techtownforum.com. The community is there. It's waiting. If you have a question about wanting to set up a group, a private group, more discussion around the types of content, obviously feel free to reach out to Scott through the Techtime forum. But really encourage everyone to go to the forum, sign up, engage with the forum, engage with the community, because I think at the end of the day, we're all here working to make sure that we have a successful repair. And for manufacturers, again, reach out through the forum. We'd love to talk more to you about the forum as well and how you can continue to help the service community fix your equipment. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.